Boy. Mm, well, I guess I'm gonna have to do it like this. Well, hello everyone. This is Feel Good or Feel Good Gunpla. I was hoping to do this in landscape, but it's not one to do it, so I'm just gonna have to make do, and hopefully in the next one I can do better. So, like the title says, it's the tools that are used in Gunpla, basically used to build and customize. And I'll run down, the basics, and then I'll show a few things that you use in building Gunpla. As you see here, I'm currently working on the RX 78-2 Master Grade version 3.0. That's why you see all this stuff. But we are here to basically talk a little bit about the. I got a lot of stuff from here. Should clean up a little bit, but basically the tools in the trade. So if you're starting out in Gunpla, basically what you would need is a. Oh God, I can't believe I am now forgetting stuff. You would need some nippers and tweezers, and that right there will get you pretty far. Of course, you can go online or at your. I don't have a local hobby store where I'm at, so I just have to go online. I bought mine in a kit. It came with these two nippers, a file, two small screwdrivers, a Phillips, and a flathead. Now, the Phillips and the flathead are here somewhere. Oh, hold on 1 minute. Let me take care of something real quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, let me adjust my microphone. Hope everyone can hear me through here. Maybe in the next live video I have in landscape, but for some reason when I rotate my phone, it just wouldn't do it. So here we are. So okay, let's get to back to what I was saying. Um, the kit came with nippers, pliers, a file, two small screwdrivers, a Phillips, and a flathead. Of course, this has been about 3 years ago, so yeah, those will get you by pretty well. It'll do. Over time, you have to, I guess, upgrade your tools. I guess you can say. For one, you will have to get you some sanding paper, or in this case, sanding sticks. What's worked for me, and I put them out here. Of course, later on, you'll have to either replace your nippers or just get some better ones. Which is getting to the point now. I'm gonna have to get some better nippers, and also probably some better tweezers. But these are working so far. For me, I had to learn how I had to get sanding paper. I mean, sanding sticks in this case to help sand down the nubs. You know, they come in different grades. And what's something I can point at here? Here you have basically your cores. This to be used kind of like to just grind it down a little bit. Just to grind it down. Get rid of the nub or as much as you can. And then the next grade, how I do it, I use this first. Of course, you have to be careful not to grind it down too much because you can. You can grind it down to a point. Hold on, let me get some of this soda over here. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, that helped. Sorry about that. But, you have different grades of sandpaper to what you need. You got coarse here. I got medium. You got fine and ultra fine. These two, this one's going to do most of the work getting rid of the nub. This here will follow. And these two are basically just to polish it off, make the part look nice. So it won't be so just rough. And I just, it's good to have different grades of sandpaper to kind of, get rid of the nub and basically to help get rid of it so the kit can look better. And now, however, I will say this, depending on the nub, sometimes like you can do like I did. Let me see if I can pull this out without messing with the camera. You can end up like that and just wearing it down. Even with this course, I wore it down because I forgot another thing. Eventually, what's going to happen, you have to buy one of these files. Now, this is a Tamika file. I think come with 3 of them. This one's I use the most because it got a little tip. You can kind of go in there and file down your the nubs. Now, with this, the only problem is you have to be very, very with this. Because if you are not, you will mess your part up. Trust me. If I can show you an example, maybe. If I got one with a good nub on it. Let me see. I guess I don't. Am I just going to have to up and cut a piece just to do that? Okay. I got an idea. Hold on, people. I got an idea. All right. I was hoping not to cut this, but oh well. Just gonna cut this part out here. Okay. Here's your piece. You may or may not can see it, but here's your piece. As you can see right there, this is your nub. Now I'm gonna kind of purposely not cut this all the way. But you see, you still have a little nub. Oh, it's hard for me to point right there. And let's say this is as far as your nippers can go. Now, what do? You can sand it, but the thing is, you're going to end up like the sanding stick that I showed you, and it's going to sand it down. So, okay, which side did I? Here we go. What you would do, it's going to be very hard for me to show this on the camera, but, okay. It's hard for me to do this on camera. Oh, I'm hitting the camera, hitting my phone, so. My phone is trying to adjust, but it is having problems. Go, just file it down. Really slow. Gentle. You may see that my phone, I'm moving, so it's having a problem autofocusing. And you keep doing that gently until you get rid of the piece. And then you take the sanding paper, make sure also to do it like away from the like if you don't like just sand it on there, because that'll mess up your piece, especially with this coarse grain I'm using here. And you just keep doing that. And I just dropped the piece. Okay, hold on. There we go. Come here. There we go. And you'll keep your there we go. And basically you're just, I like using these sanding sticks because it has a little tip that you could use. And only thing is, with my big hands, it makes it hard to do. But as you see here, or hopefully you don't see too much of that nub anymore. And this is a and that'd be our example. And this is the combination of this and this. Now I bought this as a Tamika file tool kit, file kit. All right. So in some cases, or in some cases, depending on the nub, you have to use this and this to make it display. Even then, it have like a little white speck on it. So I heard some people they use paint. Now, in order for that to work, you got to get the paint the exact color or about closest color you can to that piece, and that will actually help cover it up. But you either go for removing it entirely or make it to a point that you can hardly see it. At least that's what I do. So this is actually pretty good. Tools up, and I'm gonna end up losing a piece. You get this I think it's called an X-Acto knife. This is used. I mean this little knife you use to kind of and well, at least in Gunpla for me, it's got a little angle here, a little blade. You gotta be careful because it is sharp. Some people I see using they use to get rid of nubs if they can't get hold to like a sanding stick. But you have to be careful with this because this is sharp and you can actually end up either cutting yourself or messing up your piece for your kit. But also I kind of use it for putting stickers um on two pieces. So that and tweezers. So it's a combination. I gotta sit this over here. Now you probably saw this putty and a YouTuber, fellow YouTuber, Gunpla YouTuber. Um, she asked me. It was basically one of my Gunpla pictures. I was showing how much I did on this piece, and she said, "What's the putty for?" And I said, "Well, it's basically used for, at least for what I found, it's used for repairing kids like you got a dent, scratch, or something like that. Use that to cover it up, or it's used for customization. You know, it's used for customization, like someone trying to make got a piece, they trying to make it blend in with the other piece, so they use some putty. So basically used for repair. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. For some reason, it cut me off. So I do apologize about that. Okay, where was I? Hate when that happens. Well, I was in the tools and I think I was talking about the putty. So the next thing, let's see, what would be the next thing? See, I went with tweezers, files, sanding. Now, as you know, all kits have panel lining. However, depending on, sometimes the panel line um, blends in too much with the, how can I say it? It blends in too much with the kit. You can't really see the panel line that much. Well, if you can see it, some reason it won't stay in the focus. Give me a break. Anywho, I do better if, I don't know, when it seems like it records better when it's not live, but I want to have some type of content for you. Because I was testing to see if it worked for me. You see these little black marks here? That is panel line ink. That's ink with panel line. That's used with the ink. It makes this stand out. These black here and gray for the white. I just like using gray with white. And seem like for right now, everything except black, I use black panel line. And the stuff I use here would be your Tamika panel lining, black. Also, one of my favorites now is the gray. You this type of enamel thinner to clean it up, so you can have a nice panel line. It's Tamika X20 enamel paint. You probably can't see it. There we go. That's better. I guess it doesn't do so good here. There we go. Maybe I should use a better light, but there you go. Tamika enamel. paint thinner. You have to use this with the panel liner here, or for it to clean up. If you won't, if you don't, then it won't work right. So that would be for panel. Just for straight building, I would use, your standard, tweezers, you know, your nippers, your tweezers right here, your file, and your panel line ink. Starting out with black will work. If you can't afford nothing else but the black, and then get back. Cause this is like $5 a bottle, US. I don't know how much it'd be in other countries, but here it's $5 some a bottle, depending on who you buy it. You see, I bought this online, and I think this was overseas. So, yeah, it takes a little bit for the gear. And you have to buy, at least with this brand, you have to buy this enamel paint, because it is an enamel ink. Now, the ink, I keep saying now. Of course, when you get into your panel lining, your colors, I could show you a brush and all that. I can't. I know I had my brushes. Well, oh well. Oh, there they are. Hold on. Let me just. Come here. There it is. There it is. There's the other thing I need. I'm finding a lot of stuff all of a sudden. Okay, so of course you're getting paint. Since airbrushes cost money, you would have to go. The route would be to paint. Of course, you can buy stuff online or go to your local store if you're really tight on the money. Of course, you can buy these different paintbrushes like this. Now, if you can afford it, you can go and buy the ones offline. They're a little better and they last longer. And I've been using them. I was using them for about a while before I moved to an airbrush. And I may do a separate video on that. I'm not sure. Now, you can get some masking tape. I would recommend getting the ones that's made for painting with hobby stuff. I mean, Gunpla, but paint. You can use ones from the paint. From your local store, hobby store, if you have one there in your area. I had some from USA Gundam store where I go to get my kits and supplies if they have it. And that's where I got this file kit. This is the one I use. So this is the one to be out all the time. But got the file kit, file toolkit. And I got some of my paint from them as well. Can't seem to find the other one. Oh well. Anyway. Now, if you can get some liquid masking here. I show you masking from Mr. Hobby. That worked for masking the part, but this is not very good for like very fine masking. Now you can get by small masking tape from, like, say, your local hobby store or online. But let's just say it's a little challenging to do. In fact, it can be a pain sometimes, but hey, you do what you gotta do to make it look good. Now, I use a combination. If it ain't like just really fine detailing, I use this for that really, really fine detailing. For you got mask, do masking on the paint. I've been using this Vallejo masking. Now this is more like a paste here, and this here is a little more watery. Not too watery, but it's enough where you can do that fine detail masking. and it works. But you can't have this on for too long. I say up to maybe 24 hours, if not less. It usually take about 4 hours to dry before you can start painting. So I would say 24 hours from the time you put it on there to the time you have to take it off after you paint. If you wait any longer than that, it can actually take off paint with it. So you gotta be careful. Well, I guess it'd be like any other tape, if it stays in there too long. So you gotta be careful with this. But I like using the liquid masking better because it just it works better when you have a lot of curves and angles and stuff. And plus, to me personally, I just have better luck with the liquid masking. Yeah, you have to wait like 4 hours before you can paint your piece. But in some cases you can use both liquid and normal tape, masking to in conjunction with each other to get what you need. Now, as for your paints, I use acrylic because enamel paint, although enamel paint is better, you got fumes and stuff, and you will have to have a well ventilated area for that, or like a painting booth with like a vent that sucks out the air to the outside. If not, then I would not recommend enamel paint for you. I use acrylic, even though it dries fast. You can buy some paint retardant, and it will slow down the drying process, so you can get a nice leveled paint. The finish be better. Also, I forgot one more thing. I don't know why I forgot this, but here is a part separator I use to separate parts that, if they put together and you forgot to do something, you can take, just get this, you pop your part open gently, and you can do this without, without damaging your part, because once them parts click together, they're hard to get apart. Okay, let me switch back here. I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. The paint I normally went with is Vallejo, if I'm saying it right. And this is for hand painting. And of course, you will use the Vallejo thinner to work. Let me see if I can find some over here. There you are. All right. I can't record. I'm about to hit the 30-minute mark. I am so sorry. So if you just hand brushing with Vallejo, use the Vallejo thinner. And if you're using a different brand of paint, you have to use a different brand of thinner with it. Now, I also have, they have, one to use for hand brushing, and then they have the air model. Now, the air model is used for paint brushes. You can't hand paint, not going to turn out as good because it's not really made for that unless I'm just doing something wrong. But when you use it for airbrushing, you don't have to mix anything with this. You just drop it in the airbrush in the little cup thing, where you put your paint in, and it paints good. Now, if you are using, let's say, this type of paint, this is all you got, but you want to use for airbrushing, you have to use this airbrush thinner. Because if you don't, this will clog up the airbrush. I unfortunately know this from experience. It will clog up your airbrush. So if you're going to paint with the normal Vallejo paint, well, I think even their Mecha paint they got now, which their Mecha paint is hard to scrape off. It's made for kits, plastic kits. So, yay. Now I have to buy some more paint. But, and usually I mix mine like in my little paint palette here. And it basically, because I tried mixing it in the airbrush and it didn't work out. Airbrush got clogged. So if you mix it, this is like a paint palette or a little cup or a little something, and then put it in, pour it out and pour it into the paint palette. I mean, wow. If you pour it into the airbrush, little cup thing on the airbrush, then it'll work. You know, but if you try to mix this, like put this in first or put this in first, then put this in first, try to mix it, it's not gonna work in your brush. You got some folks can do it like that. I can't. I mix it here, then I take an eye drop and suck up the paint and then put in the cup that way, and it's been working flawlessly. So like if you get this brand, you're gonna have to use the thinner for it. Now if you get their modeled air, then you can just drop it into right into the thing, the paint thing on the airbrush, and it worked just fine. They don't need it for that. Now I also been using a Ammo Mig. I think they're a French company. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, I'm running over the 31-minute mark. Now this here is the metallic. Now, me personally, I think this was made a little more airbrushing. They say you can use this. You can use this with hand brushing or airbrushing, but from my experience of trying to use it for hand painting, it works better with airbrushing. But according to them, they recommend, it even says it here, they recommend you use it with their thinner. So I guess it may be a balance of finding the right match. So this is Ammo Mig acrylic thinner to be used with this. So they recommend this where you hand brushing or airbrushing to use this with that. So I do. Also, I had to get this overseas because I couldn't find somewhere in America where they sold it. So I had to wait on that. So there's that. Well, I'm going to leave it here. And of course, you know, they also sell their airbrush primer, the one-shot Ammo Mig airbrush primer. And this, you don't need to mix anything with that. All you need to do is just shake it up, put it into the airbrush thinner. Oh God, sorry. Put it into the airbrush and it works just fine. I got white, gray, and black in this. And yeah, as for paint, you know, just paint, you know, find out which paint you like. Vallejo's a good brand. Tamica's a good brand. Ammo Mig is definitely, at least for what I'm using now, Ammo Mig is a little more toward airbrushing, but maybe because I never really used it for brushing, so I hadn't had a chance to find out what works and not, like I did with Vallejo. But let's see, what other, you know, I got a few other paints I've been, I'm just bringing these out for an example. And then I'm just bringing these out for example. Man, I got a whole lot of stuff. I'm gonna fit this all in this video. Okay, don't lose any pieces. Don't lose any pieces. We had to use that. So like I said, with every type of paint you use, you gotta get thinner and airbrush cleaner for it. For the Vallejo, I got this airbrush cleaner here, so I use to clean it out of my airbrush. And also for the Ammo Mig, God, I hope I'm saying it right. Did I get? Yes, I did. Oh, anyway, I got too much stuff. I'm not gonna go over everything. I don't want to run the time too much. I'm already in like 34 minutes. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose pieces because I got all my pieces for my. I'm working on my RX 78-2 3.0 here. I don't want to lose any pieces. So you can use, this is Tamica. You can see it. This is the Tamica acrylic paint. So you will have to have the Tamica cleaner, and I can't find my. Well, you have to have the Tamica cleaner and the Tamica paint for that. So, not Tamica, the paint. You have to have the thinner and the cleaner. Also, here I also use Model Masters. You may not can see that. Model Masters. And also I have the Model Masters thinner. And actually this works for Model Masters and I think Polyscale and a few other brands, so, and testers. So this one actually works for about 4 different kinds of paint, which is not bad. But unfortunately it costs like may cost $10 for this. But you know, it works for 4 different brands. If you can find it cheap, I would recommend doing that. Also, the paints I've used a few times, but I don't know, they dry too much. I'm having trouble with that, but I might do some testing with some airbrushing and just see where it goes. Also have some Mr. Hobby Gundam colors right here, also used for hand painting and airbrushing. And for that, I have the good stuff. Well, I call it good stuff. Well, it may be normal y'all, but to me it's the good stuff because I tried to use some other thinner and that stuff just, it didn't work. And this is Mr. Color leveling thinner. Now this is used to thin the paint. However, it dries it slower to where the paint just evens itself out over the part and you have that nice finish. Now the Ammo MIG paint kind of has that in it already. So you really don't need to put a retardant for that to dry. Just wait 24 hours to work. But this stuff I have used it in the past and it dries really quick. You have to get this in order to use this. And it works out. So yeah. And let's see, am I missing anything else? Now for an airbrush, I have, where's my airbrush? I know y'all probably laughing, dude, you lost your airbrush. I wouldn't say lost, slightly misplaced. I can easily find it though. It's just, I got my, I like to call it my hobby room, is needing some cleaning. So yeah, I said this thing wasn't gonna go over 30 minutes. Look how long it lasted. I know I got it here some. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do in a separate video, but I have a small airbrushing kit. You know, it works. Also, I have a a portable paint station. You know, so basically, I'm gonna have to show that in another video. I know this is not the best video, and I do apologize for that. So, I just wanted to do a little tutorial, not tutorial, but show you the few little things you need for airbrushing and a few things, a few things you need for building and customizing your kits. I know it's not the best video, so I do apologize about that. I may do a video later on some live videos of me maybe actually building some kits. Hopefully I can have landscape this time instead of portrait. We'll see. But I'm using my phone and not a camera, so I do apologize. And I hope this was helpful in choosing, knowing what you need, for building and customizing Gunpla. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. So this is Feel Good of Feel Good Gunpla. I wish everyone a great day. Later.